the Trans Rockies race, that 120-mile race. I'm most proud of it because the entire year leading up to it, I faced a lot of self-doubt, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I had some injury in there. I think life was really tough, and I got to the start line, and even within the race itself, the last 2 days, I was so sick. Like, I felt miserable, and I was able to complete it and do it well.
You are listening to Feminine Will, powered by Sweatseat. I'm Andrea McKee. This is a show about women who choose athleticism, adventure, and bravery every day. Thanks for listening. Hey, today we have Margaret Spring, who is an ultra trail runner who went from running a marathon to running 100-plus mile trail races. She's become an advocate for running safety and running in groups, and that's mainly because she's been robbed at gunpoint. She doesn't talk about that experience on this podcast, but she does dive into the precautions she takes to ensure she is safe when she runs alone. You'll also get to hear how she's overcome setbacks and injury, and how she has stretched herself far beyond what she knew was possible. One more thing about Margaret. She blew me away with her kindness when I met her a few months back on Instagram, and I have just loved getting to know her, and I loved interviewing her today. I hope that you enjoy the conversation that we have. Tell us a little bit about your background.
So, yeah, I grew up in Minnesota and was raised in an Irish Catholic family. I'm one of 10 kids, so it's 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 boys every 2 years.
Okay.
So we all had basically a buddy.
Nice.
And which was super awesome.
Do you live close to any of your family now?
I don't. The closest people are in Minnesota, so that's like an hour and a half flight away. But everybody's all over the country. Baltimore, Seattle, Washington, Minnesota, Texas, Montana. So it makes for a good way to travel.
Yeah. So were you guys athletic? Was your family athletic?
So I would say, yeah, the majority of us are athletic. The majority grew up at least running, some playing soccer and tennis. Mostly we just love to be outside. So, yeah.
And would you say that has impacted you and your how much you pursue running now?
Definitely. It definitely has. It's just such a great way to explore and to see different sights in nature. And also a good way for me to kind of get my introverted time, especially growing up with so many people around you. It was nice to go out and kind of isolate yourself and breathe and have some alone time.
Do you have any memories that you can think of that really kind of helped shape you and the way that you pursue your athleticism today?
I just remember growing up watching my oldest brother, Frank, race, and he was so incredibly talented as a runner and just loved it. And I loved watching him and also looked up to him. And so every time I kind of watched him race, I was like, I want to be good like that. He's awesome.
So does your brother Frank know that you looked up to him like that? Have you told him?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. I mean, that would be a really good thing to tell somebody. And so maybe at some point in my life, I'll do that. I'll be like, hey, this really meant a lot to me, and I really looked up to you. So
it's totally fine. I think the important thing is that you you gathered something that ended up impacting you and moving you into a direction that you may or may not have otherwise gone.
Definitely.
So tell us a little bit about the way that you do pursue running right now and what it looks like for you. And
Yeah, so right now I'm actually recovering from an injury. So I got in a car wreck this fall and had a shoulder surgery. So my return to running right now is slow. That so that's okay. I feel as if everybody, goes through these different journeys. And so every time
definitely.
I go through an injury journey, it's an opportunity to learn something new about myself. And, setting out on this next year, I have this crazy, ridiculous, huge goal, which is running the Leadville 100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's August 22nd.
As a side note, Leadville, Colorado is the highest elevation of any city in the United States, sitting at 10,000 feet. So thinner air. And she'll be doing the 100 miles on a trail, which means more agility and concentration is needed than it would typically take for running on a road. Back to the interview.
That means I'm running 100 miles on trail, and I'll be running in the dark for some of it, and running in the dark is one of my biggest fears, and so I'm going to have to kind of challenge myself and overcome that. The majority of my training right now, as I slowly build up mileage on the trail running wise, I'm actually doing a lot of cycling to get my fitness and endurance, and strength training, and then physical therapy for my shoulder. So basically, I'm just slowly getting back into my running, and my big goal is the Leadville 100. So I'm looking to this next season with just using a lot of patience and grit, and mostly take grace, that there's a lot that has to happen, and I have to be willing to walk through the journey, and there's going to be ups and downs, and I just want to be really intentional about how I do those things.
Tell us a little bit more about your fear of running in the dark.
Great question. I'm nervous about getting attacked. I don't like not being seen. Probably my biggest running wackiness to date, where I was like, I don't like this, I'm really scared, is I went running with a group of people in Baltimore, Maryland when I first moved there. And the running group went at night. I had no idea what the city looked like, and I got put with a pace group, or entered into a pace group that was well above what I was able to do. But I was terrified of the city, terrified of the dark, didn't know my way, and so it was just an awful experience. It was I was in fight or flight the entire time. I think just not knowing what's around me, or that there could be, whether or not it's a realistic fear or not, but there could be somebody out there that would try and attack me. And I think as women, we need to be extra cautious and careful.
Yeah, I agree. What are some of your plans of action?
Yeah, so I have a personal alarm that I'll be carrying on my pack. I actually do that during my daytime runs as well now. And
what is a personal alarm?
It's just a little button that you can press that sends out kind of a super loud sound. So if you press it, the hope is that the person will be scared away, or somebody else will hear it and be like, oh, somebody's maybe not okay right now.
Okay, I actually think I have seen those in the past. I haven't done any recent research on them, but...
Yeah, it's really small. It fits on my pack. And the pack I use also has a little safety whistle in it, which is pretty awesome as well. So you can
And is it easy to get to?
Really easy to get to, yeah. And then obviously all the lighting needs so you don't trip, and I'm still trying to kind of figure that out, what I need for lights. I'll be trying as much as I can to get other people to run with me in the dark, which I think there's always safety in numbers, and I
definitely
it's a great idea. Even just from like an injury standpoint or whatever, you should always have somebody with you on the trail or somebody so they can locate you. I know Strava has a great resource on it too, where like I could send something to my husband and say, hey, I'm headed out on a run. This is my route. And then they can kind of track you. So I've looked into that a little bit.
Is that based on if you have data?
That I don't know. That's a great question.
Well, that's good that you're bringing up these ideas, because I think there are definitely women in the audience who are going to be interested in knowing about some of these things and the precautions that you're taking, because there are many women who are also wanting to take those same precautions. Because I myself, when I go running, have also wondered about something similar, like, well, what if something happened to me and I got attacked? Because I think most women probably think about this.
Yeah.
And I know my friends do. And so I think it's good that you're bringing out some of these ideas and resources for women to consider.
Yeah. And I know there's also a lot of the self-defense classes, which I've looked into taking, like the Denver rec centers or whatever, put them on. So that's also a good idea.
That is a great idea. And so you're living in Colorado. And how long have you been in Colorado?
I've been in Colorado this time, maybe, I think about 10 years.
Oh, nice. So you love it.
I do love it. I love it so much.
And I bet you love it because now that we all know that you are an avid trail runner, there's lots of great trails up in Colorado.
So many amazing trails. Yeah.
Is this like your playground?
It really is. I feel so lucky.
So tell us about how you got into basically ultra trail running. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out how I got my process. So I've done one trail marathon, and then this past summer, my friend Randy and I did the Trans Rockies event, which is a 120-mile 6-day stage race that's done over 6 days with 20,000 vertical. And
wow.
Yeah, that was intense. The back-to-back
yeah, I bet it was.
days, that was something else.
And that was you doing 120 miles over 6 days?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't like a relay like Ragnar or anything like that. It was you.
2 feet.
Wow, that's incredible. And how did you even decide you wanted to do that?
So my friend Randy and I were just following along on a couple people's journeys on Instagram, and we were like, oh, maybe we should try this. And so we registered, which it was like totally crazy. Like she and I only knew each other for maybe 4 months before we signed up together. We're like, oh yeah, like this sounds like an awesome idea. We did it as a fundraiser for childhood cancer, and we raised over $15,000.
Just the two of you?
Just the two of us, which was pretty amazing.
How did that work?
We sold hats as part of our fundraiser, and we reached out to friends. We posted on Instagram. Yeah, and each day,
that's incredible.
It was pretty awesome. And then, companies have matching. So I had a really generous friend who donated as well, and her company matched her donation, and so that was a huge chunk of it as well. But
Wow.
Pretty great.
That's incredible. So how much previous to that 120-mile run, what was your longest race before that?
26 miles.
Okay, so a marathon. You had done a marathon and you're like, actually, I want to do 120 miles.
Yeah. And then so at my first trail marathon last June, I placed in the top 10. And if you place, it was the Leadville Marathon.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you place, you can get a golden coin, which gives you an entry into the 100-mile race.
Okay, because that's apparently the next step.
I guess. And I was like, well, I mean, a lot of people, this is a very coveted race, so I can't really turn down my entrance.
How many people typically enter that race? Do we know?
I'm not sure, but I know they just did the lottery, and I think,
Oh, so it's a lottery.
yeah, I did a little Instagram survey, and I think there were at least 25 people that responded that they had applied and hadn't gotten in. So,
Oh, wow. So it is a coveted race.
it is a coveted race. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it.
That's the 100-miler,
That's
the
the
Leadville
100
100-miler. Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I got into that one. I was like, well, I got the gold coin. Maybe I should try.
That is very ambitious. Way to reach for expanding your limits. And so that was last June.
Yes.
Okay. And since then you've been in a car accident and a subsequent surgery. And how long have you been out of running for your surgery?
I think I was out about 10 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us what it was like, because I know from what because I follow you on Instagram, and I know that it's been a challenge. So tell us a little bit more about what it has really been like for you.
Yeah, it's been hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been really hard. I think just going through some of the pain cycles is one piece of it. Feeling like, you're getting out of shape as other people are starting to really dig in and base build. The constant like comparing to others when what you can do is limited. Mm-hmm. That's a mental game. Just not really being able to be outside and doing what I love was really hard. Mm-hmm. I think that kind of was the hardest. I'd set up a bike in my basement, so I was doing some of that just sitting upright. I couldn't do any weight bearing on my arms. So it was at least something, but I think for me, not being able to be outside and be mobile and experience the things that I love the most was probably the most challenging for me. That's kind of where I get some of my happiness. And so it's been a process. I mean, I've, done some counseling to kind of work through some of that stuff.
Good.
I think it's important to talk about that. Like, that
definitely.
It just doesn't, I mean, you don't just say like, this is hard and you get through it. Like I really am having to kind of dig deep and get in there and be like, well, what does this mean for me? And how do I define myself? And what does that look like? So,
yeah, I think that's incredibly introspective that you would choose to go get counseling during this hard time. I think that sometimes people think that counseling has to be a really long-term thing. And it can be, and it is oftentimes very helpful for many in that case. And sometimes people need it for a short time, for a struggle that's a few months, and they know is going to be at least a few months. And so you've gotten counseling. What are some other things that you have been doing to kind of work through this time period?
Ugh. I've done some meditation, even if it's just like 10 minutes a day. So that's good. Just trying to like set the
Yeah.
mindset. I've actually
Mm.
made lists of things that I can do. I'm like, what can I do? Or
Mm.
what's,
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's important because it's easy to focus on what you can't do or what you're not doing.
Yeah.
And so it's been helpful for me to be like, okay, well, what are the things that I am doing that are helping me build up to where I need to be when I as I return or when I return.
I love that because I feel like that's applicable to so many people in so many different circumstances.
Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. And then that way when I look back on things, I can say, hey, I mean, even when I was down and out, I found something that I could do that would contribute to like my overall fitness or my overall like mental well-being or my overall mental preparation for my big goal race.
You've talked about how you have a coach. And did you have a coach? Like, when did you get a coach and when did you decide you needed a running coach?
Yeah, so I've had a couple different coaches in the past, but I was still kind of searching for somebody that fit me and what I needed. And I've learned a lot in the process in having coaches. So I think it's important for athletes to interview coaches and see what a good fit is for them. Um,
That's great advice.
and I don't think I ever gave myself permission to do that. I think we all have different goals and we all have different ways that we communicate. And some people might need less communication, some people might need more. Um, in September, I was just thinking about the Leadville race, and I was like, I really am going to need somebody that's going to be real honest with me and kind of help me through this
Mm-hmm.
process and build in a smart way and be able to tell me like when I'm pushing too hard, when I need to go harder, when to just relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started with her in September. Her name is Anna Mae Flynn. She's just an incredible athlete and has been a huge support for me during the entire process. So,
Because did you get her and then have the accident and the surgery,
yes.
or was it
Yeah.
okay? And how did you find her?
I found her on Instagram. I was following her on Instagram probably since last year. And I saw her
Okay.
post something about coaching, and I set up a phone call with her. And I think I talked to her for like an hour and just went over, some of my experiences and what I wanted from a coach. And she was very much in alignment with
Mm.
like what I needed, and it's been carried
Mm-hmm.
through. And I was like, if I need to learn as a person or as an athlete also how to communicate to the person that's coaching me, like, hey, this seemed really hard today, or that was a great workout, or I feel like there's like more in me, or whatever it
Yeah.
is, or wow,
Yeah.
super anxious during that workout. Any thoughts?
Uh-huh. Yeah. So how does it work typically, or is there like a typical way that coaches work with individual runners, or like is it just for you and her? We'll talk about you and her. Uh, does she come up with the training plan and then run with you, or does she come up with it and then occasionally run with you, or how does that work?
Yeah, so everything is done virtually. So we use an app called Training Peaks. And at the beginning of every week, she'll program my workouts in for the week, including strength training. And then she'll tell me where my efforts should be within those workouts. And once I complete them, I'll write a comment. I'll be like, hey, that was super awesome. Felt great getting back into it. Or, no, couldn't do that one today. Or feeling super anxious and it's hard to settle in or whatever. And then she'll comment back, and then she'll adjust, my workouts as they need to be. So she's been really great about, starting to build up my mileage and then also giving me workouts on the bike as I recover from injury, and then varying my strength routines. So I haven't gotten a chance to run with her yet. But we're planning something for the end of May that I'm super excited about. So,
how awesome.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give for people interested in finding a coach? What are some things they could look for or avoid?
I think they should ask questions about what's your coaching style? How do you approach workouts? How do you approach conflict? I think talking about your goals ahead of time and asking, is that realistic? Is that something that you can help me achieve? And I think, the realistic question is tough because they have to get to know you as an athlete before they can say that. But I think for me, it's been, the biggest part has been to have somebody beside me or working along on this journey with me that believes in me. And
it's huge.
I think that's huge. I feel like every athlete deserves a coach that gets excited for you when you make your workouts or, coaches you through when things don't go well, because the majority of the time things aren't going to go super swimmingly, but is there to kind of help pick you up and motivate you to the next step. But I think for me, I just really wanted somebody that believed in me, that's okay, we can get you to this point. For me, it's the Leadville 100. She's like, you got this. And that's, a weekly theme. Here you go. You can do this. You're strong. And I don't feel like she's just saying that. I feel like she actually believes that when she tells me that.
That's important. Yeah. To feel like they're being authentic and genuine when they speak to you. I think that's great that you found somebody like that. And it's good to know for other people looking that they should interview people and find out, how well they mesh.
Yeah, and I think even as an athlete, sitting down and writing a list of what you want from a coach and what you want your communication style to look like. I mean, if you're somebody that's I don't really need the day in, day out, great job or whatever, and you want somebody that communicates less, then communicate to your coach or possible coach that's what you want, because that might not fit in their style either. Might want to be more hands-on, so it's got to be a good match.
Good points. So tell us about your first ever race, if you can remember it.
So
we're gonna go way back. I don't know how far back was it? How many years ago was it?
So many years. It was over 30 years ago.
Awesome.
I know.
How old were you?
I think.
Can we ask how old were you?
I think I was either 8 or 11, but it was a long time ago. I'm 43 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were, tell us about that.
So pretty epic. So it was a race in northern Minnesota. And
cold. So it was cold.
Well,
Was it cold or was it a nice summer day?
it was a summery day, and the race was called the Troll Stroll.
Perfect for an 8 or 11-year-old.
Yeah, so I basically, my husband and I laughed because my mom sent me the little news clipping article of it,
Oh.
which was so cute. But apparently, I went like just all out sprint at the beginning of the race and was leading the pack, including the boys, and
nice.
Yeah, ended up slowing down a bit, but I finished third overall and first for women. So
and first for women?
Yep, first for women.
Well, that'll boost your confidence. Way to go.
So, and I won a 6-pack of pop, an igloo cooler, and like this obnoxious t-shirt with like a pink troll on it with puffy paint or something ridiculous.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that feeds into your love of sugar then.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
So after that, were you just hooked on races, or did you sort of just do them here and there whenever they showed up in your life? Or
yeah, so I did.
Was it a while?
Cross country and track. I started cross country when I was 12 years old. I raced on the varsity team from early on with the high schoolers, which I kind of, looking back, I think if I had known, now what I knew then, that probably wasn't the best for me, just because I didn't really develop that competitive edge, where I think if I had raced more with my peers, like with the 7th and 8th graders, and I was able to like win, then I would have gotten more of that like drive to do so. But I was racing, with the high schoolers and the super fast kids, and I was like, I just never got that competitive edge. I mean, even now to this day, I get anxious, like racing, and if somebody wants to pass me, I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, you're doing awesome.
Yeah. That's good. Spreading good cheer anyway.
Oh, man. I love cheering people on at races, even when I'm
Me too.
I'm like,
I do the same. I'm like, I don't know if this sounds good or condescending. I always sort of have this inner conflict, but I'm like, whatever. I want to cheer them on, so I'm just gonna. So did you was it during college and after college, or that you just continued racing, and like what did it look like during that time frame of your life?
Yeah, so I ran the steeplechase in college for 2 years in college. And after that, I did races here and there, but nothing kind of too wacky. I mean, I was I was off running for a while, or just ran for fun, do races. And then...
Did you do anything else in the meantime? Or did you just take...
I did some mountain biking, and I did a ton of really good eating,
yeah,
which was fun. Like, I think,
yeah,
we need those periods in our life.
Absolutely.
So I kind of took up running, or racing, maybe, I guess, 5 years ago. I was a little ridiculous, and I had a really difficult fall season, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna train for a marathon, and in the spring I'm gonna do my first marathon and qualify for Boston, which,
wow,
I thought that's kind of a ridiculous goal for somebody that's I don't know. I thought it was a little ridiculous for me, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it.
And how did it go?
I did it. I qualified. Yeah, I
Awesome.
qualified for
And did you go
Boston.
run in Boston then?
I did.
Did you get in?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
That's incredible.
that was fun, but it was just kind of one of those things where I was like, what am I doing? Like, I just told myself I was going to do it, and I worked hard for it. I did
Yeah.
my training and everything, but I don't know. I guess when you love something and you want to set a goal, you can totally do it.
Yeah. What is one of the hardest things about being a runner? Or one of the most challenging things, however you like to look at it?
One of the most challenging things. That's a great question. Honestly, I feel like it's hard to not compare yourself to others, like even in terms of your own physical shape. And so I remember road running and getting to the start line constantly feeling as if I was being sized up by different people. And I'm smaller, but I didn't have like this elite, like super lean body. Like that's just not my body shape. Like I have curves. And so I think for me, it is tricky to look at others and not feel like people are kind of tearing you apart at the start line based on what you look like. And the truth is, you know what? They probably aren't, and it's probably my own insecurities, but it very much felt like that.
So that's probably that. I could see how that's a challenge. Is it? And it's still a challenge.
Well, I think it's different in the trail world. I don't know if it might be that it's my own experience and how I am more comfortable with myself now. And the fact I'm like, my body takes me up these crazy mountains. Like whatever I look like is what I look like. So, so it doesn't really matter. So it might be that my age, I haven't done a road race for a while. It might be that my age and my comfort level is different now where I don't think about that. But that definitely has been something that's, been challenging. I think it's challenging for a lot of people.
I agree. I think it's a very common thing for us to think a little bit too much about the things that we are not sure about our bodies or, or whatever it is we're a little bit insecure about. Sometimes that's a big challenge for most of us.
Yeah.
And I think that's also comforting knowing that we're not alone and that we can talk about it and we can, be open about it and then, give each other some love about it, because I always admire looking at your posts.
Oh, thank you.
So I wanted to also ask you, what do you think is one of the most rewarding things for you about running?
Honestly, the people that I've gotten to meet through the sport has been the most rewarding. And especially over the last couple of years where I put myself out there a little bit more and been more willing to meet people. I think people's hearts and their friendships are just amazing. And the gift to be able to share, running with them, it's just been amazing.
I'm going to end with this question. What is the thing that you are most proud of yourself for in running?
Definitely the Trans Rockies race, that 120-mile race. And I think I'm most proud of it because the entire year leading up to it, I faced a lot of self-doubt. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I had some injury in there. I think life was really tough. And I got to the start line, and even within the race itself, the last 2 days, I was so sick. Like I felt miserable, and I was able to complete it and do it well. That's definitely what I'm most proud of to date.
Is there anything else you want to share before we sign off?
I just feel like everybody should dream big. I mean, I really feel like you should, and put the time in to get it done. You're worth it.
That was Margaret Spring. You can find her on Instagram at runner4cake. That's the number 4 cake. She also started a women's running group on Instagram called Women of Running. So if you are a runner and you want to connect with other women runners, go check it out at Women of Running. If you know someone who exhibits athleticism, adventure, or bravery at a noteworthy level, please email me at Andrea@sweatseat, SWETSEAT.com. Please follow us on Instagram at Feminine Will. And share this with your friends. If you know somebody who would enjoy this podcast, let them know. See you on the show next week.